to be here with you. My name is Silja, Bára, Ómarsdóttir, and Rector or President of the University of Iceland. And on behalf of the university, and of course in particular the Institute of International Affairs and the Center for Arctic Studies, I'm very happy to welcome you here. At this event, Arctic Challenges, Navigating Shared Futures, which the Center has organized in cooperation with the University of the Arctic. This is the third consecutive year that we are hosting a pre-event ahead of the Arctic Circle Assembly, which starts tomorrow, and we're very happy to do this in close partnership with UArctic. And together we are seeking to highlight the importance of having open and collaborative academic engagement in the Arctic, and of course to advance research and research projects that address the complex realities facing our northern regions, here in Iceland and across the circumpolar world. We're very proud to have Professor Gunnar Stefánsson, professor in the Industrial Engineering program here at the university, serve as Vice President of Research at UArctic, which he's done since July 2023. His appointment reflects our growing commitment to strengthening research cooperation and building bridges between Arctic higher education institutions. This annual event brings together leading scholars, policymakers, and community advocates to discuss the pressing challenges we're facing, and this year's discussions are focusing on 4 interconnected themes: Arctic governance and security, the cryosphere, resilience in rural communities, and academic collaboration across the circumpolar north. As climate, geopolitical, and societal shifts accelerate, the Arctic stands at a crossroads. We're witnessing profound transformations in ecosystems, economies, and international relations that demand careful reflection and collective response. Questions that we need to address are, for example, how can Arctic governance structures adapt to mounting security pressures? How are communities coping with the rapid loss of sea ice, glaciers, and permafrost? What are the long-term implications for those living in the Arctic, often in precarious conditions as their ecosystems are scattering? And how can Arctic universities deepen their collaboration and build capacity for the next generation of Arctic leaders? These are not just academic questions, they are questions of shared responsibility that call for interdisciplinary dialogue, mutual learning, and sustained collaboration. And I hope that today's discussions are a great start into the remainder of the week, inspiring new insights and partnerships, contributing to a more sustainable, peaceful, and equitable Arctic future. With that, I would like to hand over to my friend and colleague Pia Hansson, who will serve as moderator here today. Thank you, and once again, welcome.
Hello, everyone. It's so good to see you all. So many Arctic friends in the room. That is really excellent. It is my pleasure and honor to welcome the next speaker, Lars, to the podium. He's the president of the UArctic. He's held that position since May 2002. Throughout his UArctic presidency, he has fostered an academic interest in the northern environment and development issues. In a previous life, long ago, Lars was the Polar Program Manager for Grid Arendal, which serves as UNEP's key polar center. Lars, the floor is yours.
Former lives is probably a feature some of us get, and that's very nice. I also have a former life as a geologist, and that's very nice to be in Iceland because you have live geology to show that actually it is alive, it's not something just stuck. So that's also alive. It's such an honor to be here, Rector and leaders of the Arctic, and I hope you will have a lively and thought-provoking discussion afterwards here. I look forward to listen to you. First, I guess the propaganda. University of the Arctic is the membership of all universities in the world who care for the Arctic. Very simple. Created as a child of the Arctic Council, but independent. We are so lucky that we have advisory board from the indigenous peoples. We are lucky having a board appointed by these universities, and hopefully we do some right things. Our job is not to be an institution who do a lot as UArctic. Our job is to make the members, the universities, do fantastic things together. And that's the challenge, and it's a bigger challenge today than it used to be. There's almost no university in the world who do Arctic researcher who is not a member of UArctic, so it's very easy to say who we are for the time being. In the Arctic, there is produced more than 10,000 research papers about something Arctic every year. So the academia has some interest in the North, clearly. And you can do a career in academia by publishing about the Arctic. Of those more than 10,000 research papers, almost all of them are about environment and climate and nature systems. A few are about social life or policy understanding or human health or such things. And almost nothing about economic development or opportunities for the people or such things. So we, the global society, we put enormous resources into understanding nature and environment. Around 10% of all climate research in the world, measured by research papers, is about the Arctic. So climate researchers have really understood it. The place to understand the thing, you need to go to the Arctic. Maybe somebody else should learn from them and also realize you can solve other problems in the Arctic. That's the situation. It's almost like frightening because that represents the education and research input on the Arctic is about $5 billion per year. And what does it produce? It produces people like us. It produces a lot of insight and knowledge of nature systems. It produces a lot of warnings, frightening messages. Things can go to hell. Not only for the people of the Arctic, but for people of the whole world, because something happening in the Arctic and Antarctica. And that is kind of a really mind-blowing, challenging thing. That's what we're facing. It's not a game of talking we are into. It's a reality of a world changing. So what do we do? Unfortunately, it's very hard among all that research to find research which actually look for solutions. I think we all know about one solution, that's less emissions. But there could be other solutions, other ways to produce food, other ways to work together, other ways to make a good life for people. And how do we address that? Should we address that also in the Arctic? Is it a problem for the rest of the world? I don't know, but I think it's time for a dramatic shift of how we think when we do Arctic research. It's about the people of the Arctic. They may have problems because of climate change, but they are also the ones who own the land where many of the resources and solutions will come from. Because when we go into a reality of a green shift, again, we look to the Arctic because we need the metals and minerals from there to build the windmills or whatever we want to do. We want to go to the deep oceans to look for the metals, etc. Also, again, easy to find in the Arctic. That's the future we are developing because we go away from one energy system to another energy system, the rest of the world. And still there are some few people living in the Arctic who should have the right to decide what is welcomed of this thing and what is maybe not what they want to support. How can we organize that in a meaningful way? The science community has discovered that they need to work with local people, but how can you handle a world with 10,000 research potentially papers every year, each of them want to have a Sami or an Inuit as a co-author? You need a lot of Inuits and Sami to make that possible. How do we organize that? I don't know, but it's really the challenge for us to deal with. So this is my little charge and challenge to the panel today. I really hope you will come up with the answer. I look forward to hear. Thank you.